Yellow, how's it going everyone? Lord360 here, and this is my 300 subscribers special as a thank you for all the support through all these years and for finally hitting this huge milestone. We are doing a Q&A and this is the video for it, so welcome in, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am to hear some of the answers and a little bit more, get to know a little bit more about me, because obviously, you know, it's grown to be the point where I feel like you guys should know a little bit more about me, and that is why I put the call out, right? So no intro needed for this video. I put out the call on my Discord server and on my Twitter account. So we're gonna start with the questions on the Discord. So I put out a little section there for you guys to put your questions, and I have not read any of them just yet because I wanted to be surprised and give you my full authenticity answers. So without further ado, let's get right into it and let's start seeing some of these questions. All right, so our first question is from Nevim. I hope I'm saying that right. And he asks, are you thinking of gaming videos as other content in your channel? To be fair, probably at the moment, no. I'm just mainly focusing on the Pokemon Go content because I like the vlogging style that I'm able to do with it. Obviously in the future, I do want to do like a streaming on like Twitch, but for now we're just gonna keep it on YouTube, right? I'm actually thinking of going on streaming on Twitch, like in the close future, in terms of streaming Pokemon Go. But other games, I'd love to, but it's just I don't have the the budget at the moment to actually get a gaming PC and then the time to actually set up a stream. It takes a lot of time and you have to learn, and unfortunately I don't have the time right now to actually do that. I'm busy with schooling, so hopefully in the near future I'll be able to do that, but for now we're gonna keep it mainly to Pokemon Go. The next question is from Drizette, so my friend Haley, and she asked, would you be interested in trying to reach out to other Pokemon Go YouTube players in order to collab? So I'm gonna cut myself off right there for a second because I didn't actually answer the question properly. You were asking me if I'm gonna contact other Pokemon Go YouTubers, and I started talking about just other Pokemon Go players to collaborate with. And so my answer to YouTubers is I'd love to, but I feel like I'm not big enough. I don't make enough impact in the community to really want to be reaching out to people yet and actually making content with them. Like, I'd love to. I have a couple people that I would love to make content with, but I just don't feel like I'm big enough to actually make that sort of content with them just yet. But you know, I'll still hang around and I'll still like hang out with these YouTubers and whatnot in their streams, but I feel like I still need to grow in order to want to, be someone that people want to collaborate with. So for now, the answer is no, but I would really want to personally. I'd love to make content with other people. And in terms of like challenges, I'd love that. And yeah, we'll have to see, because I have ideas of ways to collaborate. That you'll see with what I say next, but for now, it's gonna be a no. Now the answer to this is yes. Now the issue with that was obviously for the past 2 years we had the pandemic going on, so we had to keep our distance from other people and I couldn't really have a lot of guests on the channel. But actually I was thinking of having people on the channel and making an afternoon with people and trying out these new sort of challenge videos where I set out like a time period, like maybe 10 minutes, and then what I would do is I would ask them to try and find like a certain like highest CP, lowest CP, who can catch the most typing of the Pokemon. So I was actually thinking about doing that before the end of the summer and testing out that type of content and seeing how it does in the channel. So keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna be like testing around in my community, seeing who'd be interested in doing something like that, and hopefully I'll be able to get something like that going, because I'd love to do it before it gets cold out. Maybe that could even be something like who could survive the longest in the cold without their screen not working, because in Canada here we have big issues in the winter playing outside. It's mostly you're playing inside buildings. So yeah, I would love to do that, and I would be trying to reach out to other Pokemon Go players, and hopefully soon enough we'll be able to get that kind of content going, and I hope you guys would be excited for something like that. Our next question is from CDN Sparrow, and she asks, which Pokemon in your inventory has the most interesting story behind it, and can you share it with us? Oh, I have so many of these. I actually have to go to my game and look at that. So let me actually get that pulled up for you guys. Let me get my game pulled up and I'll share a couple of them because I don't want to ramble too much on Pokemon that I have a lot of special memories with. Alright, so if you guys want a fun story, I have a shiny Dialga here. So it's actually not my Shundo Dialga that I have, although I can just briefly touch on that story with the Shundo Dialga. I was in a parking lot doing raids while my family was in the store, and I was in the car doing the raids, and then I got sent to raid from a friend, and her name was Cool Mama. So if you're watching this, yeah, you were the one who gave me the Shundo Dialga, and boom, raid with Shundo, and I was like, whoa! But this one here, this one has a fun memory to it. So it was a really rainy day. I was spending the morning with my mom doing a couple Dialga raids, and I didn't have a shiny Dialga just yet. I think it was like 20 raids or so. And so we went down to like one of the lakes, I think it's called Lake of Dreams, and we did a raid over there. And so I let my mom check hers first, and it was shiny. And then I checked mine next, and it was also shiny. So we got back-to-back shinies. And I thought that was such a cool moment. And it's something that, I don't ever want to trade away this Dialga, but it's something cool that I still have that I can keep. Just because, you know, it's a memory, right? And I don't want to get rid of it. Oh boy. This Emboar right here. So this is a fun story as well. So this was traded on the Calm Day for Tepig. Now, here's the story behind this. It's such a funny one, and I couldn't believe it happened. So I was finishing up the Calm Day with my friend Avnish, and he was like, oh, do you want to do a couple of trades before you go? But I'm like, yeah, I can do a couple because I have to get going back home. I had something to do that day after I was done playing the Calm Day, because I biked all the way downtown from my home to get there. So it's about a 40-minute bike ride. So I had to get back home. And so I traded him, and I said, okay, we'll do 1 or 2 trades and we'll be done, right? So first trade here we both got a lucky on the first trade, and then hear this. So I got a hundo lucky, but he also got a lucky hundo as well on the very first trade. I could not believe that actually happened. So we both have a lucky hundo Tepig, and I don't know if he evolved this or not, but we both have this lucky hundo, and it was on the community day. And I also want to mention this glitch again because I'm so annoyed with it. So I have that hundo Emboar, and you clearly saw that, right? Now, that was around the time when they were actually releasing the new deck system here. And look, I don't actually have a hundo Emboar registered in my deck. So I actually reclaimed that one. And I've contacted Niantic about this as well, like the support, and asked them like, hey, could you get this fixed? Like, I actually have it in my game. And they said, oh, well, if you caught it, it doesn't backlog if you already evolved it. I'm like, but it's physically in my box. I don't get why I don't have this thing registered in the Perfect Dex. Oh, it's so annoying, but I'm gonna have to reclaim it. But that was a fun story. I'll share one more with you guys. I'll give you 3. Alright, I will share the story with my Mamoswine here, my Shundo Mamoswine. So fun enough, it wasn't even on the Calm Day. It was, I think it was before or after. I don't know when Swine Up Calm Day was, because it was a long time ago. Let me actually double check when Swine Up Calm Day was, because I know I caught a lot of these on the Calm Day here. So that Swine Up was 2019, 2/6. Oh, so it was after the Calm Day that I got the Shundo. Okay, so after the Calm Day I got this Shundo. So what happened that I got it? So I was biking a little bit of a rainy day. It wasn't that great out, but I was around my area. I was going to bike to do a raid, and then I caught a Swine Up right in the wild, and it was shiny. Now usually I don't check IVs right away. I usually go and I go around and I check after like maybe like 30 minutes of playing, and then I see, do I have any hundos that got snuck into my box? But shinies I usually check on the spot because you never know. And I checked it, I'm like, oh my god, it's a Shundo! My god, I was so amazed. So what ended up happening was I reported that right away to everybody in the nearby, and I had a bunch of people who were local in my area actually come and get it. And so I had to tell people I was meeting at the raid. I'm like, we're not starting the raid yet. We're going to get the hundo. Go get the hundo Swine Up first. So it was right by the gym. So they went and got it, and then they came back, and then we did the raid. I forget what raid we were doing at the time. It was the legendary, but that was crazy. And I was like, I hope you guys enjoyed your hundo. I'm sorry it wasn't a shundo for you, but that was so awesome. And I think to this day, that is one of my only full odd shundos that I've gotten in the wild. Like I have all these shundos, and they all hold special place in my heart. Like that, the Dino was traded from my friend. That Rampardos was from research. The Lugia was from raid. But, you know, all of them have their own special place in my heart, and there's definitely more that I could talk about, but I don't want this to go onto like a whole video itself. So if you guys want to hear more of like special stories about my box, maybe I can make a video about that. Let me know in the comments and I can do that for you guys. Alright, so the next question is from Christy Greeneye, one of my personal favorite friends. I have a bias in the community. She's amazing. She's so welcoming, and I really have a huge respect for her. She's really big into the nominations, so if you have any questions about nominations and you want to ask me, I can always ask her and she'll be able to help us out. So her question is, when did you first get into Pokemon? And who was your favorite Pokemon and the why 360? So you gave me 3 parts to that question. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to answer each one to the best of my ability, and I'll give you each answer. So to answer the first part of the question, when did I first get into Pokemon? I first got into Pokemon when it was in the Diamond and Pearl generation. So back around 2005, 2006 when it was airing on TV. So yeah, mini Lord Drew, you know, when he was in his teenage years. And so I was really big into it back then. I had Pokemon Diamond as my first game that I remember, and I played Pokemon Emerald and Fire Red. But then what ended up happening was I got into high school. I didn't really play Pokemon as much. I had the cards, but then, you know, I kind of dropped off of it until X and Y came back. And then I sort of got full back into it when, you know, the Pokemon Go got into play, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I love Pokemon Go. It was a lot of fun, and I've stuck with it, and I've made content about it. So I started on Diamond and Pearl, and I've dropped off a little bit since then, but then I came back in, and I've been with the franchise ever since. Now, who is my favorite Pokemon? Now, this is always a hard one, because I have a favorite shiny, but I don't really have a favorite Pokemon. Like, I have things that I love. Like, I love Rayquaza, I love Blaziken, I love Venusaur. I know very unpopular with the Venusaur opinion because a lot of people love Charizard. But again, I'm kind of like that off-brand guy. Like, I like different things. But if I had to pick like a lot of them, I'd probably pick like those ones. I'd pick like Luxray, Dialga, Lucario, you know, some of the big meta ones that are very popular to a lot of people. I don't think I have like a one personal favorite Pokemon. And then she also asked about the 360. So why the 360? Now, I was trading with a friend, and this was before I made the YouTube channel, obviously. And so we were trading, and we were talking about how it's really cool that when you trade the Pokemon back and forth, the IVs can be completely random, right? And so I said to him, oh, you know, it could be like a full 360. So then that kind of sparked in my head when I was making the YouTube channel. I'm like, I don't want it to be called Lord Drew. So I said, if I'm doing trading in Pokemon Go, I think I could call it Lord Drew 360. So 360 came from trading, and it was with a friend, and it was because of the IVs fully flipping, doing a full 360, right? So that's sort of how the name came to be. Lord Drew was just my tag from previous games. I like the Lord Drew because my name is Andrew, but my nickname to my family is Drew. So Lord Drew. Kind of rolls off the tongue nicely, right? Alright, the next one comes from a personal friend of mine in my community as well, Mike, so Lost Hobo in his in-game name. So he asked me, are you willing to share some tips and tricks about grinding spots in Brampton/Toronto? And willing to share those locations in future videos. That's actually, you're actually giving me a good idea there. I really like that one. Am I willing to do that though? I think I could do that. I could dedicate some time to showing off some of the great places and just making like a full video dedicated to like what's so great about the areas, like in terms of the, I guess, amenities there, like what's great about it, what's the popular places to go, like what are the spawns like, what are the stops like, and what is the community like. Because obviously I would love to get more in touch with the Toronto community, but I think my issue with the Toronto community is that I just don't have the connection there because I don't go there too often, right? Like I play in Brampton all the time. You guys know I play there on a daily basis. But in terms of Toronto, like North York is where I usually would go because of my schooling. And Toronto, I wouldn't really go to that often unless I was going there with friends and I play down there. So, I mean, I could maybe try and ask people in the Toronto Discord there if they could recommend some places. Then I could actually go to them before the end of the summer and I could check them out and see exactly what it is. Like, it could be an experience for you and for me as well, right? To learn the area and kind of see what I like about it. But Brampton, definitely. I think I should make a video like that of the big spots in Brampton to play. and sort of showcase the different locations in terms of the atmosphere and the Pokemon Go experience as well, because that's what you're here to watch, right? All right, the next one comes from what I want to call a super fan. So he's been there since the very beginning. He's always supported me, and it's my friend King Benny. So he asks me, and this one got a lot of laughing reactions, so I don't even know what he's asking, and I can't wait to laugh at it in a second. He's asking, if you were going to a party and could only bring one Pokemon to be your wingman, which Pokemon would you choose and why? Now I can see why that's a funny question. Who would I bring as my wingman? Well, I would obviously want to bring a bird, but because I'm thinking wing, you know. But you know, to be your partner in crime, to be that Giga Chad, if you want to say. I have to really think about that for a second. I don't actually have a good answer for that, you know. I'm trying to think on top of my head because, you know, I don't want to make it that I'm thinking too much about this. But if I were to think, who would I want to bring, right? Maybe like a Machamp, right? Or maybe like a Lopunny, you know. But the Lopunny would steal all the girls from me, right? So I think I would bring the Machamp to bring in more of the girls, right? I don't know. You know, you want to bring the life of the party, but you also still want to be the life of the party. So I think a Machamp would be the answer I'd give for that one. Or maybe Lucario, right? Because he still is pretty muscular and pretty strong of a Pokemon. And, you know, he could use the Bone Club. That'd be cool. Next question is from another friend of mine, Vicky, and she's asking me, what other hobbies and interests besides Pokemon do you have? So when I was young, I had a lot of interest, but now obviously because I've been focusing on Pokemon Go, I have very few. So I mean, the main hobbies that I have besides Pokemon Go is still like in general video games. Like I love playing Persona games. I just finished one called Octopath Travelers. If you haven't played that one yet, I give it a try. It's a very cool RPG game. And in terms of other stuff, hobby-wise, I mean, I'm really into the biking, like because I've been playing Pokemon Go and biking. But anime is my huge other hobby. I love watching anime. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me on your time off whenever you have a chance just to DM me or just talk to me anywhere in my Discord. But anime is my big other hobby. I'm really into things like Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. Hunter x Hunter, My Hero Academia. I know I'm talking about lots of the mainstream ones, but there are plenty of other ones that I've watched that are not as mainstream that are really good. Like, it was called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That was one of the ones that I was like, it was good, I liked it, and it was really interesting up to the very end. There was one part in it that I don't want to spoil if you ever do watch that one, that, yeah, I kind of had to skip. It was an interesting anime, but at the end of the day, I still think it was pretty good, even though it had that kind of weird part to it that I don't want to spoil. So anime is my big other hobby that I really am into, and, you know, biking. I like soccer, but I don't really keep up with it too much unless it's like the World Cup, or if it's like the Euro Cup. And I wouldn't really call this much of a hobby, it's more of like my interest, but I feel like at this point I'm more of like a sangria connoisseur. I love my red sangria, so if you get white, we're not gonna fly that well. But if you get red sangria, I don't know, whenever I go to a new bar, I go to a new restaurant, I usually like to try the sangrias there because they always make it differently. Some of them make it with more fruit, some of them make it with more wine. I like the ones that are stronger with the wine, because I like the alcoholic taste of the wine. But most places dilute it with the fruits, right? Unfortunately, just because, you know, the wine isn't going to be the cheaper part of it; it's the more expensive part of it. And yeah, I think I really am into that. And spicy food. I love hot sauces. I love hot peppers. Right? You could get in the conversation with me about all the different types of pepper I've had. I've had Reapers, Carolina Reapers, I've had Ghost Peppers, I've had Scotch Bonnets. There's so many different ones that I've had. And yeah, I don't know if you would really consider that a hobby, spicy food and sangrias, but those are just some of the things that I'm really interested in. All right, the next question is from another friend of mine in my community. Her name is Pam here. And she asks, for all the communities we've had so far, which one you consider to be your favorite and why? Ooh, so I have to consider a lot of things with this one, because I don't want to just say the best one was like Gible Calm Day because I really enjoyed the Shiny Fort. I have to consider the memories I made with those calm days and yeah, overall playability of them. So I'd have to give that one actually a second to think about, because there's so many different factors I want to play into this question in order to answer properly. All right, so I'm not even gonna lie to you, when I really thought about it and I was thinking of some of the videos you've made, I think my favorite one was either the Larvitar or the Mudkip, or even the Beldum, because those were all ones that I played in downtown Brampton. And I will say that was sort of when the game was still very popular with communities, because that was like the second year of Com Days and we got some really good ones. And I just remember making so many memories trading with people and doing challenges with them. If you haven't checked the Mudkip one yet, oh, go check that one. It's a bit of an old video, but it's still a very fun one to watch. I had a challenge with my friend, I believe, to see who could get the most amount of shinies for that Com Day. And those were still when they were 3 hours before the 6 hours even came to be. So they were still high stakes. And even the first Eevee Com Day I had a lot of fun with, because I was just able to play with a lot of my friends that I made. And, you know, the pandemic sort of ruined that. But now we're starting to get back into that play where we can play with our friends again. And hopefully I'll see you out there in my local area, or possibly in Toronto. I could plan a Com Day if you guys really want, where I go to Toronto and we play there. But I usually stay in Brampton for my Com Days because I like to stay local and I like to see you guys. So yeah, I would say the Mudkip, the Larvitar, and the Beldum communities are my top 3 in terms of overall experiences, in terms of playing them, and being with my community to play them. Next question is from another friend of mine, one of my trading buddies. His name is Gil here, and he asked me, who are some players in your community you admire or respect in the game, and for what reasons? And have you learned your lesson? Now, I don't know what he means by have I learned my lesson part to it. I think he's referring to rating like tier 1s and tier 3s and not getting the shinies, or getting the shinies up to like 40 something raids and spending so much money, which we all do occasionally if we have money to, you know, to spend. But who are some players that I respect in my community? So definitely I already said, you know, Christy Green Eyes, because she's very good in the community in terms of the nomination. She's very big on the Wayfair. And as I said, if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me. You can always message me on Discord, on Twitter. And, you know, I'll refer my questions to her and she'll give me the best answers, because she is the best for it. I will not even dispute that. Again, I try not to keep my biases. I don't want to keep this, I don't want to think too much about it, but I could just list so many names of people that I respect in this community, for Brampton at least. You know, I could say you, Gil. I could say Pam. I could literally say everybody who's answered send me a question here today, because that means you actually care, and I have respect for you, and I'm willing to answer your questions, right? But you know, there's so many people in the community. Like, I could just name a couple other ones. Like, I can name Deuce as a PvPer. I could list Kathleen, very friendly. Avnish, lots of people that I could name in my community that I respect. But you guys all know who you are already, so you don't need me to name every single person. But it's just nice that you guys are willing to be here and spend some time with me, and you know, have a nice time and hang out and watch my videos. And we're finally at the last question for the Discord questions, and it comes from another person that I respect. So going back to Gil's question, Carrie, so EVGC. And so her question is, what is the biggest thing missing in your collection? Oh, you asked this because I think you know what I really wanted to get in my collection. Now, I haven't been spending too much time on one of them, but the other one I've been missing for a long time, and it's been a meme in terms of the community and people know it, and that is the shiny, or sorry, not the shiny, the Hundo Pidgey. I don't have a Hundo Pidgey. How does that happen? After all the times Pidgey's been out, I have Hundos of regionals like Bouffalant and Mr. Mime and Kangaskhan and Heracross, but I don't have a Hundo Pidgey. I don't know how that happened. I just didn't get a Hundo Pidgey. So I'm waiting for it to return to my area. Right now it's in the southern hemisphere, so you know, you can get it down there and you can try and find it, but right now in the northern hemisphere, Pidgey does not exist. You can't get it, right? And then the other Pokemon that I feel like I'm missing from my collection is Shundo Tailo. So my favorite shiny Pokemon, I'm surprised someone asked me that. Favorite shiny Pokemon, if you wanted to know, I think you all know anyways, is Tailo. Shiny Tailo, I love it. Would love a Shundo Tailo. I would keep it as a Tailo. I would evolve it, max it out. It'd be the most useless Shundo in my collection, but it would be my personal favorite. So if you want to be immortalized into my collection, try getting me a Shundo Talo, okay? I'll say it right now, and you mark my words. When I get that Shundo Talo, I am going to be the happiest person on earth, because my favorite shiny Pokemon, and having a Shundo of it would be a dream come true. And so I also asked questions on Twitter, because I said, if you want to ask me questions there, you know, feel free, because not everyone is in the Discord. Some people only follow me on Twitter. So I wanted to give everybody a chance to ask there as well. And so I only really got one question on there, so it is what it is. You know, I'm still small as a content creator, and I want to keep growing, so obviously we'll do another one of these in the future. Don't worry, we'll do another content question and answer sort of idea, where you can ask me any questions you want again, and I'll answer them. But we'll keep it until like maybe 1,000. We're really growing. People want to know who I am again. And so here we go. The last question that was asked. So it comes from Filthy Pokey Show, and he asked me, Leafs or Senators? So those are actually two hockey teams, if you weren't aware. I know most people know who the Leafs are if you're watching me from Canada. And so I answered it already, but I'll answer for you guys as well. I said, not a huge hockey fan, but always root for my home team. So I said, go Leafs, right? So I'm from Toronto, but Brampton, and I pretty much will always root for my home team. I'm not gonna go against them. Like if it's for baseball, I'm gonna go for the Blue Jays, right? Toronto Blue Jays, go Jays, you know, we're gonna go for them. And I've been to a couple of home openers as well, just for the fun of it, because it's sometimes fun to go to these events with friends and watch them, but I'm not a huge sports person, to be honest. So at the end of the day, I'll support it, but I'm not gonna keep up with it, right? That's not who I am. But if someone wants to talk to me in passing about it, you know, give it a listen. So that is gonna be it, and that is it for the Q&A. I really want to thank everybody for submitting their questions to me, and I apologize this got a little bit long. I thought it was only going to be a 10-minute video, but I had a lot to say, and I had a bunch of questions, so I want to just thank everybody for throwing those in there, and I hope my answers were satisfactory for you guys. I hope you guys got the answer you're looking for, and we'll do one of these in the future, right? We just got to grow a bit more, right? Our next goal is 500 subs, and we're going to do a vlog where I'm trying to dress. Oh, why did I do this to myself? Well, this is going to be an even more awkward ending to the video, because the camera told me I had too much filming recorded. I had no space on the camera, so that's how long the video got, that I didn't have any space left. So as I was saying, I don't know why I said that do 500 subscribers equals a dress I'm gonna wear, but you guys want to watch that, so we're gonna keep it growing, and it's gonna happen one day. You know, do for the content. But you know, sorry about that, and yeah, we're gonna end it there. So thank you again for all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, onward and forward, right? There's only going up from here, and hopefully in the future we'll get to 500 subs. I know I will if I just keep on pushing, and you know, just keep on making good content for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, make sure to boom, click the like button, click the button down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't decided. You know if I want to put a new video. Everyone loves 360, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, buddy.